What's up guys, my name is Crescent, and I understand we get super excited whenever we start something new, and learning about all these new online business strategies like Amazon, Shopify, eBay, or crypto makes it sound like such great opportunities to replace your day job and escape that daily grind. But in this video, I want to talk about the dark side of being a business owner. The top 5 challenges you need to consider when starting a new business that no one ever seems to talk about. Did you know that every year there are over 400,000 new business startups? And of those, 20% will fail in the very first year and 50% by the 5th. So what can you do right from the beginning so that you don't end up as a statistic? Well, first, you can start off by smashing the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It boosts this video's statistics and helps keep my business running, so thank you. And with that said, Sun Tzu, a famous Chinese philosopher, said, "Every battle is won before it's ever fought." So by considering these 5 challenges in this video, you'll already be way ahead of the game. Now, if you do some research online, you'll quickly find that there are only a few main common areas that lead to small businesses failing. And it all starts with properly setting up your business. The most important part of forming your business is choosing the business structure. And the most common business structures here in the US are sole proprietorship, a partnership, LLC, and a corporation, either S or C Corp. Terms you may already heard of. Now, there's pros and cons to each type, with the easiest to set up being a sole proprietorship. In fact, I started my first business way back in 2001 as a sole proprietorship. The advantage of a sole proprietorship is that it has the lowest costs, it's free to register, and you'll get to take advantage of any tax benefits by registering. But the biggest problem, and without getting into too much detail, is that you don't have any liability protection. And this can be a very important factor for you to consider. You're personally and financially liable for any debts and lawsuits. You could lose your home, your car, or any other assets to cover any losses or responsibilities that you incur. However, a sole proprietorship is usually a stepping stone to incorporation, which is exactly the path that I took. And when it comes to selling online, such as on Amazon, you can start selling on their platform simply as an individual, using your own name and social security number. Which business structure you choose and when you should switch from one to another is something you should consider based on your own personal situation. And what I recommend is actually speaking to a professional, which brings me to this video's sponsor, 1-800-ACCOUNTANT. A partner of mine that specializes in this field. For members of my community, you can speak to one of their professionals over the phone for free. You can schedule a free call, tell them about your business, and explain to them your personal situation, and they'll be able to give you personal guidance on which path to take. You can find more information using my link, go.crescentko.com/1-800-ACCOUNTANT. And I'll also leave more details in the video description below. So this brings us to the next topic, taxes. And of course, no one likes to pay taxes. But as the old saying goes, there's only 2 certainties in life, death and taxes. And if you've already had a job, then you're already familiar with paying income tax. You know, that amount that usually deduct automatically from your paycheck every pay period. But that's not all. Once you start a business, you now have to pay business taxes. Now, before moving on, I want to make sure that you don't get confused between all of these different types of taxes. There's personal income tax, business tax, and sales tax. Personal income tax is the tax you pay based on how much money you make from doing your job. Business tax is the tax the business pays based on the amount of revenue your business generates. And sales tax is the tax you collect from your customers or clients each time you make a sale and then have to remit that back to the state. I know, Uncle Sam has a hand in everything. So as you can probably see, having proper bookkeeping to track all of your income, expenses, and sales is extremely important if you're serious about building a successful business, which I'll go over in the next part of this video. And understanding how to delegate your business's funds, such as between the business itself and as personal income, can play a huge role in paying the least amount of taxes, as well as not over or underpaying your taxes. And this is where, at a bare minimum, registering your business as a sole proprietorship can help you save a ton of money by being able to offset your taxes with tax benefits, deductions, write-offs, or even having the ability to buy products at wholesale prices. Did you know you can write off a ton of expenses like your office space at home, your vehicle, transportation costs, banking and insurance fees, travel expenses, office supplies, and equipment like a new computer, laptop, or cell phone, and even software like Microsoft Windows, Office, any Adobe products or tools like Jungle Scout to do product research for Amazon. You can write off any educational expenses like if you take a course at your local school or even an online course. Lets you keep more of your own money in your own pocket instead of Uncle Sam's. Now, when it comes to paying taxes, as far as sales tax is concerned, here in the US, large online platforms like Amazon and eBay are required to collect taxes on your behalf and will remit it for you, which makes it easy. And if you want to learn more about sales tax and how that actually works on Amazon, I have a separate video that goes into detail on this, and I'll leave a link to it in the video description below. However, for personal and business tax, you're responsible for paying them. And how much you have to pay depends on your business structure and the state that you live in, but a good rule of thumb for business tax is to save around 30% of your revenue to cover those taxes. And how much you have to pay in personal income tax depends on how much personal income you claim and what the tax rate is for that income bracket. And what I suggest you do to make sure you're handling everything correctly is to consult a professional to go over how you can structure your business in a way where you can pay the least amount of taxes. And so speaking of keeping money in your pocket, this leads us to the third topic, which is cash flow. This is a rarely discussed topic when it comes to starting a business. Most people think that once they save enough money to get their business started, that's it. Well, it's actually not quite that simple. Regardless if your startup costs are $500 or $10,000 or more, if you've allocated those funds to getting the business off the ground, once all that money is spent, have you thought about where you're going to get additional capital to keep the business running? If you were planning to reinvest the revenue you make from your sales, you may be in for a big surprise. For example, if you're selling on Amazon, most of your capital is going to be tied up with inventory. And if you're planning to use the money from your sales to cover your expenses, you may be waiting around for a while. First of all, your product may not sell as well or as quickly as you planned. And even if it did, Amazon doesn't pay out your sales revenue right away. All revenue from your sales is actually held for a 7-day period to cover any potential issues or returns. And Amazon's payout disbursement schedule is every 2 weeks. So you'll get a payout every 2 weeks from Amazon minus any expenses or fees that you owe Amazon. So even in the best case scenario, if your product does sell well and you need to immediately reorder inventory, you're not going to see any money back from Amazon for a few weeks. And that payout is only for the total number of units that you sold during that past 2-week period. So if you're counting on selling all of your inventory to have enough money to reorder, you may be waiting for a while. Do you have a plan on generating the capital to reorder or for expenses? This is the ongoing cash flow issue all business owners have to face. Does the business itself generate enough cash flow to keep it running, or will you need to supplement it, especially in the beginning phases? And here's where having multiple streams of income can help you build your business and generate wealth. This way, you can use the money from one stream to build another. And especially if one stream happens to take a negative downturn, you won't be dead in the water. You'll have your other sources of income to fall back on. Did you know the average millionaire has 7 streams of income? I personally have 6. My e-commerce businesses, software development business, which includes online games, investments, YouTube ad revenue, sponsored brand deals, and affiliate marketing. I can't stress enough how important it is to have a plan for generating cash flow. 82% of businesses fail because of poor cash flow management, and 79% fail because they started with too little money. So if you're starting a new business, the best way to keep the cash flow moving is to not immediately quit your day job, or if you don't have a job, get one or a part-time job. And make sure that you have at least 3 to 6 months worth of expenses saved up in your savings account in case of emergencies. And do you know what else can cause failure? Not clicking the like button. So if you're getting value out of this video, give that button a smash. I'd really appreciate it. All right, so thanks for doing that. Now, in order to have good cash flow management, you need to have good bookkeeping. Now, you can learn from my experience. With my first business, I actually started bookkeeping in just a simple Excel spreadsheet. It actually worked pretty well for a while, but I quickly outgrew that and moved on to QuickBooks. I needed something more structured and organized to keep track of what all my revenue and expenses were. One thing I want to point out is that bookkeeping is probably going to be the single most difficult and time-consuming part of your business, and I know a lot of you are going to try to do it yourself. I mean, I did. And yeah, for sure, you'll probably be able to handle it when you're first starting off and your business is small. But once your business reaches a certain level, and you'll know when that is because you'll be spending more time on bookkeeping than actually growing your business, it's better off to hire a bookkeeper or accountant to do it for you. That way you can focus on what's important to your business, and that's running the day-to-day operations and growing it. And again, this is where a highly reputable service like my partner, 1-800-Accountant, can help you. Their certified experts help maintain your books accurately and automate the entire process for you, freeing up your time to focus on your business. Again, you can schedule a free consultation and speak to one of their experts. Just use my link, go.crescentko.com/1800accountant. And you can find more information in the video description below. And lastly, and to be honest, this is something that took me a while to start doing myself, and that's delegating work to other people. I've always had trouble trusting other people to do the work that I needed done. For most people that are starting a new business, they're trying to save as much money as possible in order to cut costs, and I can completely understand that, so outsourcing may not be something that's considered. There's actually nothing wrong with that approach. However, if you want to build a successful business and scale it, as a business owner, you have to realize what skills you have that you're good at and the skills that you're not, and that you can't or shouldn't try to do everything yourself. The hallmark of any entrepreneur is the ability to wear multiple hats, juggle dozens of tasks simultaneously, and multitask his or her way from startup to consistent income stream. Ironically though, multitasking can actually damage your brain and decrease your productivity. And like I said earlier, this is an area that I personally had trouble with too. If you couldn't already tell, I have an alpha mentality, and I believe that I can do everything and do it better than everyone else. And by trying to wear all the hats, tactic one is to grow your business slowly and give yourself time to exclusively manage single tasks. And this is exactly what I had to do, and the end result is that my business grew slowly. Tactic two is to immediately outsource specialized and tedious tasks to free up your time while simultaneously scale your business. And that's what I had to learn, that in order to build my businesses and scale them bigger and bigger, I had to be willing to delegate the workload to other people. Simply put, an essential skill of a good business owner is realizing what your time is worth. As an example, I don't cut my own grass or do any of the landscaping. I hire a professional to do it every other week, and they do a far better job than I ever could. I make more money working on my business for those couple of hours than it would have taken me to do it myself. And along those same lines, I've talked to people who've tried to take their own product photos, for example, in an effort to save a few bucks, only to have photos that don't do their product any justice at all, and they're wondering why their products aren't selling. I've also consulted with people that have tried to handle their own overseas shipment, only to have their shipment held up for months at customs or even sent back to the supplier because they did the paperwork wrong, costing them more time and money than if they just hired a freight forwarder from the get-go. And I've personally ended up saving thousands of dollars hiring a professional to do my bookkeeping and taxes than trying to do it myself. The savings alone more than cover the cost of their services. Basically, find the best person to do the job. If that person happens to be yourself, such as running the business, then great. If not, hire the right person. And just to nail this point home, I've seen businesses get stuck because the owner built it to a point where the owner was spending almost all of their time doing mundane work like the shipping and handling rather than the more productive tasks like building and scaling the business. In this article on Forbes, in a clutch survey from 2018, 37% of small businesses outsourced a minimum of one important business process, whereas 52% reported planning to do so the next year. To gain the coveted unicorn status, growth and scaling must be at the strategic forefront. So as you can see, there's a time and a place to save money and knowing when to wisely spend it. That's the only way you will scale, by allowing you to free up your time and focus on building the business. And in this instance, for all of your business startup, taxes, bookkeeping, and payroll needs, 1-800-ACCOUNTANT can help you grow your business. 1-800-ACCOUNTANT can help you form your business, choose the right business structure, and even file all of the paperwork for you at little to no cost. They can even help you file for an EIN. Again, you can book an absolutely free consultation with one of their experts to see if they can help you get your business started, save on taxes, and automate your business so that you can save a ton of time, aggravation, and money and focus on the more important aspects of your business. Just use my link, go.cressandkale.com/1800accountant, and you can find more information in the video description below. So if you want to get in touch with me, you can find all of my contact details in the video description below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment or question in the comment section below. I answer every single one. And as always, if you found value in this video, consider subscribing. And do me a favor, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really does help me out and I'd appreciate it. And make sure you ring the bell so you never miss a future video. All right? Thanks for watching.